Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a kind and gentle girl named Cinderella. She was known for her sweet nature and her love for all living creatures, big and small. But despite her kindness, Cinderella's life was far from easy. After her beloved father passed away, she was left in the care of her wicked stepmother and stepsisters, who treated her cruelly and made her work tirelessly as a servant in her own home. Every day, Cinderella would rise before dawn to tend to the chores, sweeping the floors, scrubbing the hearth, and caring for the animals in the barn. Despite the hardships she faced, Cinderella remained hopeful and never lost sight of her dreams. One day, an invitation arrived at the house, announcing a grand ball at the palace. The entire kingdom was invited, and all eligible maidens were to attend in the hopes of winning the heart of the prince. Cinderella's stepmother and stepsisters were overjoyed at the prospect of attending the ball, but they had no intention of bringing Cinderella along. Instead, they left her behind, surrounded by piles of dirty dishes and tears in her eyes. As Cinderella sat alone in the kitchen, a magical thing happened. With a wave of her wand, her fairy godmother appeared, ready to make Cinderella's dreams come true. With a flick of her wrist, she transformed a pumpkin into a magnificent carriage, mice into majestic horses, and Cinderella's tattered rags into a beautiful gown fit for a princess. But there was one condition: Cinderella must leave the ball before the stroke of midnight, for when the clock struck 12, the magic would fade away. With her heart pounding with excitement, Cinderella stepped into the dazzling ballroom, where she caught the eye of everyone in attendance, including the prince himself. They danced together, their feet barely touching the ground, and for a brief moment, Cinderella felt like she was living in a dream. But as the clock neared midnight, Cinderella remembered her fairy godmother's warning and knew she must leave before it was too late. With a hurried farewell to the prince, she fled from the palace, leaving behind only a single glass slipper as she disappeared into the night. The next day, the prince set out to find the mysterious girl who had captured his heart. He traveled from house to house, asking every girl in the kingdom to try on the glass slipper, hoping to find the one whose foot it would fit. Finally, the prince arrived at Cinderella's house, where her stepsisters tried in vain to squeeze their feet into the delicate slipper. But when Cinderella stepped forward, her foot slipped effortlessly into the shoe, and the prince knew he had found his true love. And so, Cinderella was whisked away to the palace, where she married the prince and lived happily ever after. But she never forgot where she came from, or the kindness that had guided her through even the darkest of times. And as she rode off into the sunset with her prince, Cinderella knew that true love and kindness would always triumph in the end. If you enjoyed this tale, please consider supporting iPlanetpedia by giving this video a thumbs up and sharing it with your friends and family. Your support helps us to continue sharing these wonderful stories with you. And if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss our next adventure. Remember, every like, share, and subscription helps us to continue bringing these tales to life. Thank you again for joining us, and until next time, keep dreaming and keep believing, for in the words of Cinderella herself, even miracles take a little time. This is your storyteller signing off. Goodbye and sweet dreams.